Hi, my name is Isaac. I'm a photographer based out of California. I am 25 years old and I do mostly landscapes, a little bit of portraits, just kind of whatever catches my eye. I actually found out about film photography through my friend, which everyone in the film community out here in North County, San Diego knows about, but his name is Patrick. I was doing just digital photography and I love digital photography, don't get me wrong, but I got in a place where my mindset was take the picture, delete it, take the picture, delete it, and you get in the habit of everything starts blending together. So when he kind of started explaining to me his passion for film photography, I thought, why not try it out? And it definitely gave me a different perspective on photography in general that like made my love for photography basically come back and feel renewed and refreshed, and I just basically got hooked on it again. The first spark that really hit was honestly when I got my first roll back. So my sister actually bought me a Brownie Hawkeye, and it's just this rinky-dink camera. She told me you can just put it on your shelf, just use it as a prop, and I decided to see if it worked. I hit up Patrick, I asked him, do you think it works? Do you have a roll for it? I shot a roll down in Barrio Logan actually, and just simple black and white, and I remember just the feeling of anticipation waiting for that first roll to come back. You just are so excited to see what pictures you took. Even if they're crappy, even if they're good, you're just excited to see what you made. And I remember getting back that first roll, and it wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best. But it definitely pushed me to be like, I need to make another roll. I need to try to top the last roll. And it just kind of gave me this addiction that wanted to continue taking pictures, continue making memories, continue making art, and it just kind of stuck with me. It's just something about the grain, something about the colors, there's no, I need to Photoshop this out, or I need to edit this in, or I gotta make sure that my preset for this is gonna look good on this ed, and you know, there's no pre-correlation where you know this is how it's gonna come out after. It's you're going for it and you're hoping for the best, and what comes out either surprises you or motivates you to take better pictures. It just kind of clicks in. So for me, it's kind of like asking who's your favorite kid. I mean, I will always have my love for digital photography because that's where I learned, but for film, it's always gonna have that special little love. I just can't describe it. It's especially with what the cameras I'm using. I started with the Brownie Hawkeye. Now I use a Canon Rebel G, which allows me to kind of incorporate the digital style, but with a twist of film photography. So it's kind of like I get to incorporate my two loves into one. I definitely gotta say my favorite film is Lomography 800. The colors for me are as close as I get to my digital photography, just with that extra little film twist on it. My heart was always crucial to my Pentax K1000. It hit a certain way until I discovered the Canon Rebel G, and from there it was just, I was able to, you know, take this film camera, use my 50mm 1.4, or use my 16-35, and it just gives like this unconventional look to film that just, I like weird photography, so why not? It makes sense. For me, film, I feel like it almost puts me in this like childlike state of mind where I take pictures, but I don't know what's to come from them, so it keeps me in this anticipation, almost like Christmas morning. Like I'm just giddy, I get excited. I know when I drop off my roll, in a week to 24 hours, I'm gonna have it back to me and I'm gonna get to see what it looks like. And kind of that little bit of like Christmas morning feeling is what really like keeps me motivated for the next roll, and also just keeps me hungry for more. So for film photography in general, I love just picking up my camera and just going, just not knowing what I'm gonna take pictures of. It could be a portrait of somebody sitting at a bench, it could be a beautiful sunset, it could be a car passing by. You know, that's the fun part about it, is whenever I do film photography, it's completely unplanned. I just kind of get my camera and go. No, honestly, I've seen so many people take their digital pictures and add this film look to it, and then they'll add a grain, and it just, for me, because I do edit my digital photos, film for me is so beautiful in a sense of I don't like retouching my film photos. Like for me, my film photos are as is. Like that's the beauty of it. And to think if you try to replicate that, it loses the beauty in it. So I think film photography, when you look at it, it's just, there's such a beauty in it. I have a different mindset in general with photography ever since I started, you know, messing around with film. It just really takes me in for the moment. I feel like I appreciate the moment a lot more when I'm doing film. I kind of stop and take a moment. Don't just click, click, click. I kind of look at my setting. What do I want to capture? What am I capturing? What is the depth to it? And I kind of take my time with it essentially, and it kind of just correlates to everything else in my life. If I had all the resources in the world and there's not a limit, I just can do whatever I want, I would try to get as many film cameras and as much film as possible, go to a kind of rural area where, you know, money is tight with kids that are inspired by photography. They just can't afford it or just can't get their hands on it, and I would allow them to create. I would give the cameras out, and I would love to see honestly what they would make, because I feel people who buy the fanciest technology, you know, sometimes they miss the best moments. And that's the beauty of film, is you don't have to have a shit ton of money. You don't have to have the fanciest camera gear. You just have a camera and a vision, and you make art out of it. And honestly, that's something that's super pure and super just, it's almost breathtaking at that moment. If you're a photographer, I definitely think you have a greater appreciation for photography. And even if you're not a photographer, there's something beautiful and pure about just picking up a camera and allowing yourself to create something and not knowing what you're making, waiting a period of time, then just kind of seeing what you make. I mean, even if you are having a party with friends, get a disposable camera, pick it up, take it, see what you make. It's something different than just picking up your phone. As easy and, you know, simple as it is to pick up your phone and take a picture, instantly post it, then to take a disposable camera, take a picture, and wait until you see it's developed, and just reliving those moments, it really brings you back. And I feel like film in general, it gives you this kind of artsy just feel for yourself. You learn to appreciate not only photography, but just your surroundings, what you're going and what you're seeing every day, because what you're seeing and what you might find beauty in, millions of people are passing by every day. The hardest part, honestly, for me in the film process is the waiting, the anticipation. That's the thing that kills me. I just want to see what I make right away, but, you know, I find that it makes me appreciate it more waiting. But yeah, that's probably the hardest part. It kills me with anticipation every time I'm waiting for my roll to come back. The future of film photography, I feel, is never gonna die. I feel like there's always gonna be someone that is fascinated with photography and wanting to learn the roots of it and wanting to learn where people started with from. I mean, when I pick up a film camera, I think this is how people shot in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, you know. I think back to a time much simpler and think this is how they were using it. You know, it's so easy for us to pick up a digital camera, see what we took and take it home, but to pick up a film camera and think this is someone or something that maybe my grandparents messed around with. Maybe they had a film camera, you know, maybe my great-grandparents had a film camera, and it just motivates me to pass that on even to my kids, or to pass it on to future photographers I meet. My name is Isaac, and I shoot film.